What is up, my spooky peeps? Today I am showing you 5 ghostly DIYs that are so quick and easy you can make them tonight and have your home looking hauntedly cute before Halloween hits. I also have a few ghostly tips throughout the video to help you with your Halloween decor. For our first ghost, I'm using a glass vase turned upside down as the base. I simply hot glued a mop head that I picked up from the Dollar Tree onto the bottom. Then I used some of the sparkly vinyl and I cut a little hat to cover up the black plastic top of the mop. And because it wasn't perfect, I added a piece of ribbon around the seam of the hat. For the face, I cut out eyes and a mouth from some black fabric that I also found at the Dollar Tree and just hot glued them on. And here's the best part, add a battery-operated candle or some fairy lights underneath and your ghost glows at night. It's such a fun statement piece and no one will guess it's made from a mop. And here's a quick bonus DIY. You can take a scrap piece of ribbon tied in a bow, glue it onto a hurricane glass, and just add some eyes and a mouth using some of the black vinyl from the Dollar Tree. You could put a candle in it or some twinkle lights and it becomes the sweetest little ghost lantern. For the next DIY, I used Dollar Tree candlestick holders. I just popped the tops off so I was only left with the base and the metal stand. For the heads, I pushed on styrofoam balls and then draped some vintage doilies over them, tying them in place with twine. Now, if you don't have vintage doilies, you can buy ones that look vintage right off of Amazon, and I will link those down below. To add a handmade touch, I cut brown cardstock into little tags, stamped the word boo, hole punched them, and then just tied them around the ghost's neck with the twine. For the eyes, I used some simple black tacks from the Dollar Tree. It's simple, cozy, and has that vintage charm, almost like something you'd find at a fall craft fair. Here is an easy way to add a little seasonal touch to your sink. Take a clear soap dispenser and you're going to want to get some of the cling ghosts and you're just going to push them down into the soap. They float inside the soap and make even your everyday routine feel just a little more festive. For the next DIY, you will need a canvas in either the white or the black. Either one will work. You will just flip which paint color you use based on the background. I painted 2 coats for solid coverage using letter stickers as stencils for the word boo. I hand drew a little ghost who's basically peeking in on the canvas, and the O's became his eyes, which gives it a playful touch. I also added a bit of dry brushing for a subtle spooky effect, though you could skip this step if you prefer the cleaner look. It's a simple project, but it just ties everything together and gives a statement piece to mix in with your other ghostly decor. For this next ghost, I started with a styrofoam cone and a styrofoam ball, attaching them together with a skewer for the body and the head. Then I draped on a piece of white velvet fabric I found at the Dollar Tree, and it was the perfect size, no trimming needed. All I had to do was just glue it in place. To finish, I added this small jack-o'-lantern pumpkin that comes in a pack from the Dollar Tree, so it looks like the ghost is holding its own little trick-or-treat bucket. And I found this chalkboard sticker paper at the Dollar Tree, which was perfect. I just cut out some eyes and a mouth, and it sticks right onto the fabric. And honestly, it takes me right back to one of my favorite Halloween movie scenes ever, the iconic trick-or-treat night in Meet Me in St. Louis. Sweet, simple, and so perfectly October. For this garland, I started with Dollar Tree paper doilies, and I cut them into ghost shapes. I added simple eyes using a black marker, and I made sure to double the sheets and cut them in pairs so that the ghost would be stronger. For the accents, I used some orange ribbon. It was thicker than I wanted, so I had to cut it in half lengthwise, and it worked out perfectly. I laid out the ghosts in different sizes and hot glued them onto the twine. And tied the orange ribbons in between the ghosts. I love how the paper slightly curls as it hangs. It gives the ghost movement almost like they're floating in the air. The last bonus DIY idea I have for you is to take some of that chalkboard vinyl and cut out some more eyes and mouth, and you can put them on anything that you have that's displayed that's white. A crock. Here I used a bunch of my white creamers, and they're super cute little ghosts. So those are my 5 ghostly DIYs, plus a few little extra tips. Halloween doesn't have to be scary to be special. It can be cozy, handmade, and filled with those traditions that remind us of when we were kids. Which ghost was your favorite? Tell me down in the comments, and please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.